Hello, hello, you beautiful humans. So, welcome to this month's activation. So, I am so excited to talk to you about this concept this month because it has been a concept that I have been kind of sitting deep in ceremony in, like, help me understand this a little bit more. And the concept is ask and you shall receive. And the reality of this is that everything we ask for, we are getting. We're always getting what we're asking for. So the first step of this is that we have to realize that if we don't like what we're surrounded with, if we don't like what we are getting, then we need to go back and realize what we're asking for. Are we intentionally asking for anything? Or are we just reacting and hoping that things come together one day? Right? Like, this is one of the first steps of even the manifestation process, is that you need to get intentional about what you want. You have to put focus into what it is that you are asking for. And if we aren't necessarily asking for anything specific, then we might be getting things, but they don't seem to follow any type of pattern. The other thing is that a lot of times we may be getting things that we're like, I wouldn't ask for this. Why would I ask for whatever it is? Because it seems like a challenge, or it seems like a struggle, or like we don't like what we see. Like our friendships, are the people that are surrounding us, like, are not what we would ask for if we were intentionally asking. Maybe our financial situation doesn't look the way that we want it to look. Maybe our business doesn't look the way that we want it to look. Our job, our body, whatever it is, right? And the truth is that you are getting everything that you ask for. So if you don't like what you see, if you don't like what's around you at this point in time, then we have to get very clear first on what are you asking for? Because when you look around, it's going to tell you. You can't out maneuver this. Like, honesty. This is all about the throat chakra. Is what are the lies that we're telling to ourselves? How can we be more honest with ourselves? So first of all, I want you to look around and say, is this life what I would be creating if I was intentionally creating it, if I was intentionally asking for certain things? And if the answer is no, then just have this acceptance and this radical responsibility for the fact that you have also created the world that you're in currently. And now that we understand that, we can do something about it, because manifestation is like placing an order. Okay. We go online, we find what we want, we pay for it, and then it is delivered. This is the same way manifestation works. So if you were to go online and you were to place an order on Amazon or Etsy or wherever, you're going to first put focus and intention towards whatever you're buying. You're not just going to go online and click something and buy it and that's it, right? There had to be something that you were hoping to get. You have to put some time and energy into focusing in on what you want. Maybe you look at a few different types of whatever it is that you're looking for, right? Like, let's just say I just bought a cold brew thing, like a cold brew maker. And so I go online and I have to know that I desire that I am creating a cold brew maker to have in my house. And then I get to go online and I get to put some focus and some energy towards it by looking at a few different ones, seeing which one feels best for me. And then this is where we then, like, this is prayer. This is the prayer part of manifestation. Ask for what you want, ask for it. And then you're going to have to put some some type of energy towards it. If you ask for what you want and then you just wait around and you never go to the website and you never look for whatever it is, like, I can promise you it's not coming, right? I can promise you that. So then the next step to this process, we find the thing that we want. We're putting our energy and our focus towards it, and then we pay for it. right? We pay for it. So again, we are putting energy towards what we are creating in our physical reality. We don't have it yet, but I'm putting energy towards it so that I can have it, right? And so we put some sort of energy towards it. And from my experience, if you're going on a website, you're going to have to pay for it, right? You're going to have to pay for it. And we do this in our, like, whatever we're creating in our life and whatever we're pulling towards us, we have to pay for it in some way or another with some form of energy. And I tend to think that we end up having to pay with whatever it is that we're the most attached to. So if we're really attached to money, then money is going to be the thing that God's going to ask us to exchange for what we want. If it's time, then that's what we're going to have to exchange. If it's energy, then that's what we're going to have to exchange. But we have to give something to get something, right? It doesn't work without this. We would never go to a website, get on there, put something in our cart, not pay for it, and then be upset when it doesn't show up. You'd be like, well, duh, I didn't pay for it. Of course it's not coming, right? And so we have to think about the things that we are pulling into our life, that we are creating the same way, right? You have to put something towards it. And I think a lot of people, what we do is we put something in our cart and then we never actually pay for it. But then we get upset when it doesn't show up. Now, on the flip side, has there ever been a time when you have placed an order online and you were like, I'm sure this is not coming? Like, you placed the order, you paid for it, you did all the things, and then you're like, there's no way that's going to show up. We don't do that. We don't do that because if we put the focus and intention towards it, we paid for it, then we expect that it's on our way. Like, it's on its way to us in some way. So whatever we are asking God or the universe or spirit for is working exactly the same way. It's coming. If you have asked for it, if you have sat down in prayer and put focus and intention towards it, and you are putting energy towards that thing, consistently putting aligned action towards that thing, then you can bet your ass that it is on its way. There is no doubt about it. It's coming. You just don't have the tracking information. So you don't know exactly what the timeline looks like, but it's on its way. It's coming to you. It's coming. The thing that we struggle with is when we ask for something and we're taking aligned action towards that thing, then there's this time period in between where it has to leave the warehouse and get to us. And there's all of these magical things that are happening in the background that we can't see, that's helping that thing. It's bringing it closer and closer and closer to us, right? Like, if we order something from Amazon, there's got to be somebody that goes and gets that thing off the shelf. There's got to be somebody that puts it in the box. There's got to be somebody that then hands it, like, puts the label on it, and then they take it to UPS, or I guess they don't do that anymore, but they go to the Amazon drivers, and then they go to this facility, and then it gets transferred here. And then there's the delivery driver that gets it, and then they bring it to you. Right. And that's Amazon. They work really fast, right? We wish that every order came that quickly, and some of them will come that quickly, and some will come even faster, and some are going to take longer. I ordered something, a custom made crepe from Etsy, and it came from India. And it took a lot longer than an Amazon package, right? Like, but all of those behind the scenes things are still happening, but it's further away. And so I expect it to take a little bit longer to get to me, right? But all those same things are still happening in the background. So you could trust it's coming. You just don't exactly know what the timeline is. And we struggle to sit in that space where we're like, okay, I asked for it and it's not here. How do I keep putting energy towards something that, like, in a really, really grateful way, that I can't see the result of it yet. It hasn't come into my reality yet. Right? So the question is, how can you begin to enjoy the in-between? Because it is the in-between when you place the order and the order is delivered into your physical reality. It is that in-between that makes all the difference. We think it's the placing of the order and it being delivered. It's not. It's all of the in-between, because without the in-between, one, it's not going to get to you. Right? It will at some point. But two, it's actually the in-between that determines the speed at which it comes. So the more present that you can be, the more that you can sink into the right now. The faster that thing is going to come to you. The more that you can fully accept what is, so where you are in this very moment, knowing with this deep knowing that what you desire is on its way. How can you fully sink into that? You know what? I don't have my cold brew maker yet. However, what I can do is fully accept the fact that I don't have it. And one, either enjoy the shit out of my hot coffee or go and get a cold brew from a coffee shop and fully enjoy that experience, because I know that before long, I will be able to have cold brew in my fridge at any moment. Now, being able to do that, does this actually make the waiting easier? This is a question that I had for Source, for Spirit. I was like, does it actually make the waiting easier if we can have that? Well, that part's up to you. It's all about your perception of this. So if you allow that time in between now and the time that your delivery comes, if you allow that time as a time for you to build anticipation for it, then when it arrives, it's going to feel even better than you could have ever imagined it feeling when you first asked for it. Or if you choose to sit in frustration or anger or bitterness or resentfulness or whatever it is along this process, getting frustrated with the fact that like you're doing all of these things and like it's not coming. Like, why couldn't it be here yesterday? Why couldn't it be here this morning? Oh my God, it's going to take until 10 p.m. tonight. Are you kidding me? When we sit in that place, when it arrives, you are going to feel slightly less annoyed. You're not going to feel good. You're almost going to feel like relief, like, okay, it's finally here, but like, it's finally here. And there's like no reverence for that. It's like, about damn time. And then when you act that way, think about this. It's like a spoiled kid, right? Like you give them the thing that they've been wanting forever. And they're like, finally. I'm like, fuck off. Let's see if you get something else. Next time you're going to wait even longer, because until you learn this lesson, the timelines are going to get extended and extended and extended until you can learn this lesson. Because if you already know it's coming, then what is there to worry about? Why so stressed? Where is the anxiety coming from? Why are you so upset? It's, can we trust and enjoy every moment in between? And the more you're able to enjoy the present moment, the faster it's actually going to get to you. Why? Because of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. So when you can sit in total reverence and gratitude for exactly where you are, plus allow the excitement to build, it pulls it in. It's like it's a magnet and it's attracting to you. However, if you sit in frustration and disappointment and like all of those frequencies, it's actually pushing it away. It's repelling it from you. So it's extending this timeline. And it's okay to feel those things. It's okay to feel frustration, to feel disappointment. It's part of our human experience to feel all of these different things. Just don't let yourself sit there. We've got to be able to transform it. And so the question is, can you get excited about every step along the way? And the thing that's really fascinating about this is how quickly we get used to a certain thing. And what I mean by that is, actually, I've been working with this company and getting on different podcasts. And one of my friends brought up the Manifestation Babe, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like you should totally be on our podcast." And it's one of the people that this company actually works with. And so I was like, "Ooh, okay, now this is like a big deal, right? This is a big deal." And so every time I got booked for a new podcast, when it wasn't Manifestation Babe, I was disappointed. Instead of being so excited about the fact that like I'm getting on all these podcasts, they're in the top 5% of all podcasts, like how can I go and serve the shit out of these people? I was like, but it's not that one. And this is human nature. And I'm sharing this with you because it happens to all of us. And then I was like, hold on. She's circling, right? Like the fact that she's been brought up now in multiple ways means that she is getting closer and closer and closer to me, which is a sign that it's going to happen. I don't know the timeline, don't have the tracking information, but it's going to happen. And what if every single one of these podcasts that I'm being booked on is preparing me for that moment? Whoa. I now look at these podcasts very different, and I should be so excited because they're like, oh, like this is so good. This is so good because what if it's this one that actually leads me to that one? And even if it's not, that's okay too, because it's prepping me for something. So can you start to get excited about every step along the way? Right? It's funny because when we have a certain amount of money in our bank account, all of a sudden $5 doesn't matter as much. How can we go back to having so much reverence for that $5? And this is where your challenge is going to come in, is seeing the world through this lens of abundance. How can you get excited about everything? And I go back to, and I don't even know where this came from, but it's he who has nothing is excited about everything. And so each day, I want you to imagine that you wake up as an empty vessel. An empty vessel. And then you can thank God or the universe or spirit for every single thing that is delivered to you that day. Right? This is powerful stuff. If you woke up every single day and you had no money in your bank account, wouldn't every penny matter? Right? If you woke up every single day and your vessel was empty of love, wouldn't every smile matter? Every act of kindness, wouldn't it matter? So how do we start to have reverence and sit in extreme gratitude for everything that's going on, for the in-between, the birds chirping outside, the signs and symbols that you are being sent every day through animal encounters, through, it sounds terrifying, but you know what I mean, through angel numbers. How many signs are coming to you saying, hold on, it's coming. It's coming. But do we think, are we grateful for that? Do we take a moment to pause and thank the universe, God, the unseen world, for that reminder? I see you. Thank you. The person on Instagram that has exactly what you want, because you realize that there's no point in being jealous or envious because it's circling closer to you. It is coming into your field, and that is something that you can be so elated by because it's on its way. So much so that you can see it, you can feel it, you can start to touch it. Can you be so grateful for the challenges or opportunities to rise that are preparing you for the delivery that's on its way? For the quote unquote missteps that are allowing you to get where you need to be, so that when the delivery comes, you're like, oh my God, this is better than I ever could have thought. Every penny that you find, every little bit of abundance that comes into your life through saving money on something, through finding money in random places, through clients that come in, through a little bit of a bonus on your paycheck. Something that just happened to us was that we had a whole bunch of money set aside for taxes and we didn't have to use barely any of it. All the different ways that abundance will show up for you. Every sense of awareness that you didn't have before. Oh, I'm seeing myself in this cycle again. Instead of I'm seeing myself in this cycle again, it's I'm seeing myself in this cycle. Thank goodness I have this awareness. Thank you. Every message that comes through that you get to share with others. Your intuitive gifts are not to be taken for granted. That is a gift, not a curse, not a burden. Not something to be taken for granted. It is a gift. So when you get a ping to contact somebody and you reach out to them and they say, I was just thinking about you. I'm so glad you called. Thank you. Thank you. I have an idea for this person. I'm going to tell them, oh, that's what I've been waiting for. Thank you. Every synchronicity or opportunity that floats your way, every act of courage, every way that you show up for yourself. Can you sit in reverence for all of it and start to see what happens in your life? So here's your challenge for the next 14 days. I want you to really notice all of the signs and symbols and all the ways and blessings and all the things that are telling you that your delivery is on its way. Look for it. Let's find ways to sit in total gratitude and excitement for what's coming, to sit in this moment and be like, oh, thank you. And I want you to share them in the Facebook group because it's going to build even more momentum. And the more we can do this as a collective, the more we all benefit from it. So let's just raise this vibration so freaking high that these things are just magnetic to us, right? You may need to set an alarm in the middle of your day and begin to list them. Write them out, put them in a little notepad or your thing on your phone, your little notebook or whatever words. Or actually write them down in a notebook or whatever it is. But you may want to stop in the middle of the day and say, what are all the ways I've already been blessed today? Because it's oftentimes we forget by the end of the day because there's so many things that actually happen when we start to pay attention to them. So every time you notice something, could you pause for 3 seconds and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this gift. And let's see how things start to shift. So I cannot wait to hear what you pull from this call. I cannot wait to talk to you more about this. I am sending you so much love. Share, drop in the Facebook group. What was your biggest takeaway? What is a shift that you are committing to making after hearing this? And I am sending you all the love in the world and beyond. And I will see you on our next call.